Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 515.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
You know you're in the friend zone with your online audience when they reply to your stories. Maybe they celebrate your birthday, your business and life milestones. They genuinely adore you, but they never buy from you. And in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 biggest reasons this happens and 3 things you can do to shift your audience from friendly to invested. So what is the friend zone in business? The friend zone is when your audience connects with you emotionally, but they don't see you as someone who can lead them to transformation. You've become a little bit too relatable, but not respected as an authority, as a mentor, as a guide. And there are typically 3 reasons why you would be friend zoned. So I'm going to take you through these 3 and just do a little self-assessment and feel in to where you're nodding along. And then I'm going to get into 3 specific things that you can do to actually turn this around. Because this isn't about not being friendly, and it's not about not being relatable at all, but it is about having your audience see you as someone that does understand them, but at the same time, someone that can lead them to a better place. It's about balancing empathy with aspiration and with leadership. So let's dive into the 3 reasons first why you may actually be in the friend zone. And maybe you're not there yet, but these are 3 things that you need to be aware of so that you don't end up there. Okay, so the first one is that you're too focused on connection content and not enough on leadership. So what this typically looks like is that you've built a warm, friendly community. It doesn't have to be huge, but it's warm and it's friendly. But if you never lead your audience, if you never lead them, they won't know that you have answers that they actually need. They'll come to associate you as being so on their level that you're experiencing the same things in your day-to-day as they are, and you're not showing them any solutions or any way that you get yourself out of that situation. How are you leading yourself? How have you turned things around? Because if you don't show that, they're just going to start thinking of you as someone that's maybe in the problem with them, not someone that can lead them out of the problem. So an example is constantly sharing behind the scenes life content. Maybe it's how tired you are. Maybe it's how unmotivated you are. Maybe it's how manic things are at home. I understand that all of these things help to build authenticity, and it's also really great vulnerability that you're showing. However, there has to be a good balance, because without the balance, without strategic or thoughtful leadership content, you will just get lumped in as someone that is on friendly terms. Again, friend zoned. Connection is powerful, but it has to coexist with credibility. The second thing is that you may be teaching too much for free. That is a thing, okay? When every single post or every single story or caption feels like a mini masterclass, like it's all just so heavy and deep, it's so much value, your followers will stop needing to invest because they already feel like they're learning everything for free. And actually, they can just go and learn everything for free without even following you. Because AI is here now, and there's pretty much nothing that we can't just ask ChatGPT. So teaching information as your number one type of content, it's diminishing in value. You want your content to show what's possible and not deliver the entire how to. And I feel like I need to do an episode where I kind of walk you through the biggest content shifts as we head into the new year, because this is something that I've been sharing with my masterminders as, they're leaders, they're digital CEOs. Like, we need to be at the front of this, but I also want to share the biggest content shifts with all of you, because the fact that ChatGPT is here now and information and educational content is not the prize anymore means that we need to know what is, so that we can be creating more of that. So anyway, if you're teaching too much for free, it can also be hindering the result. So it can become a problem. People aren't going to buy from you. They're just going to put you in that friend zone of, oh, how lovely that she always shares these tips. Save the content and never actually buy. All right, number 3, you would be friend zoned if you are afraid to sell. This energy is coming across. If you are feeling so awkward about it, it is not anything that other people want to buy into either. So if you're feeling weird about it, your audience is going to feel weird about it too. Many coaches and online educators will soften their calls to action because they don't want to be seen as pushy. But when you downplay your offers, when you dilute, when you avoid talking about them altogether, people don't connect the dots between your free content and your paid transformation. Unfortunately, you have to get out there and with conviction to what it is that you sell and with your own belief. If you can't communicate your own belief, no one else is going to believe in you or why they actually need your program. So I want you to reframe, and I've said this for many, many years now, but selling is service. Selling is service. You are guiding people to the solution that they desire that will actually change their life or their business. And if you genuinely believe that, then when you show up to talk about that, or to invite them to purchase the product or join the program, people will take that action, but not if their belief in you and in what you sell is bigger than your own belief. No, you've got to have the belief in yourself, in your product, in your transformation, and then people will catch your belief. So if you're still afraid to sell, if you're feeling awkward, if you're feeling bad, if you feel weird asking for money, if you feel strange promoting your stuff, it's time to be cringe until you reframe and recondition your mind into really believing that selling is service. And actually not selling is doing a disservice. Not selling is selfish. Not selling or playing things down is costing you your impact. And if you believe that you're here to be a difference maker, you won't feel okay about that. Selling is service. Okay, so if you're feeling like, oh gosh, I have kind of gotten into the friend zone, I can see that people have friend zoned me. Here are 3 ways to get out of the friend zone. The first one is to rebalance your content. And I'm going to give you a bit of a formula because who doesn't like that, okay? In order to shift from relatable to reliable and have people wanting to work with you, you can use a bit of a content ratio like this, okay? You want 30% to be connection building. This is that relatability piece. This is the personal stories. This is the behind the scenes. And that can be 30%, just 30%. Then 40% is going to be the authority building. It's the educational insights. It's your worldview. It's your opinion pieces. It's your frameworks. And then we're going to move into the conversion content, which is 30% as well. So we've gone 30 for that relatable connection, 40 for the authority content and 30 for the conversion content, which you actually need. And this is the one that people really, really steer away from. But it's the content that includes testimonials, case studies, success stories. It's where you share your offers. It's where you're giving direct calls to action. So we need to make sure that we've got the balance there. Now, inside of my Social Method Society, every single month, my audience, my beautiful members, are getting a very strategic and intentional content calendar from us so that every single day, whenever they show up, whether it's in stories, whether it's in reels, whether it's in carousels, it is working with this balance, this content ratio of 30, 40, 30, with all of the prompts to support them. Because this mix lets your followers see you both as your human self, but also in your mastery and in your leadership as a brand with a product or with an offer that can actually help them. So we want to make sure that that balance is right. You can go to socialmethodsociety.com if you want to jump on the wait list for that. And I can connect with you and let you know when I'm running one of my next free masterclasses if you want to come along to that. But it's really important that we are striking the right balance. Okay, so number 2, if you've been friend zoned, meaning you've got an audience, everyone's so lovely, but no one's buying, you may need to elevate your language to start communicating from a place of leadership. And this matters with the words that you use. So if you're saying things like, I totally get it. I've been there too. And maybe you're saying that on video, or maybe you're putting that as text on screen in a carousel, or maybe you're using that phrase in your caption. I want you to replace it with, here's how I guide my clients through that. Can you see how that sounds totally different? I totally get it. I've been there too becomes, here's how I guide my clients through that. When you use more confident, grounded language, it positions you as a trusted expert rather than just a friend. And that is so important. Okay, number 3 is to sell like you believe it really is the next best step. So I kind of touched on that earlier, but talk about your offers often and confidently. Integrate stories of transformation of real people or your own transformation, results, student wins. Your audience needs repetition. Like you need to, if you think you've shared your story enough, no, you have not. Share it again. And reminders of how you've helped other people win. They're not annoyed by it. Your audience is reassured every single time you show up with the same stories because it creates consistency. The brain needs repetition for things to lock in. So if you feel like you've only got a handful of success stories, tell those success stories on repeat. Tell your own story on repeat. You've got to sell like you believe, like it truly is the next best step. So this is a little reflection question for you. Do you think that you're in the friend zone with your followers? And what's one way that you can show up as a leader this week? Perhaps it's just shifting the language. Instead of saying, I totally get it, I've been there too, try saying, here's how I guide my clients through that. Those little subtle shifts will help people start to see you not as less friendly, not as having less empathy, but starting to have more authority and someone that can actually lead them out of their pain and into their solution. So I hope that this episode helps you because there are so many brilliant experts, coaches, incredible people in this community, but it is getting lost and diluted with the content that has just gone too far onto the other side of too relatable, too authentic, too vulnerable. We need to make sure that we are striking the balance between that and also showing people that we are a trusted authority that can lead them to the thing that they desire.